How the US president makes money? The answer to this question should be simple and straightforward. The presidency isn't a business. It's the most crucial job in the country where the president should lead the country to a better future. And in return, he gets paid a fixed salary. And that was the case for most of history. But recently, after leaving the office, presidents leveraged their fame and experience to make millions. And most recently, the current US president didn't even wait to leave the office to start profiting from his presidency, but started right when he got into the Oval Office. Before we move on to find out different ways presidents are making tens of millions of dollars, let's get the facts first as to how much the president is paid while he's on duty. Well, first, let's make it clear that as a president, a lot of things are covered by the taxpayers, but not all. Currently, US president is paid $400,000 plus $50,000 in expenses, $100,000 for travel, and $19,000 for entertainment, which might seem like a lot of money, but it doesn't compared to previous presidents such as George Washington. Although he was offered only $25,000, adjusted to inflation, that would be over $600,000. Or William Howard, who was paid $75,000, that would be $2.2 million in today's money. But as a president, life isn't really rough. You get to live in the White House, which is entirely covered by the taxpayers, ride a presidential limousine with a driver, fly Marine One and Air Force One, and of course, the Secret Service is always there to protect you, and you pay absolutely nothing for that. But not everything is free. Although there is a chef in the White House, the president has to buy his food and pay for his suits, which can cost enormously. But that doesn't come even close to what the taxpayers have to pay to cover the president's expenses. Maintaining and taking care of the White House and covering the bills cost around $13.5 million. It's a 55,000 square meters house with 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and 3 kitchens, which is a lot of money, but significantly lower to when the president decides to travel. Moving the most powerful person from one location to another is expensive. Air Force One alone costs around $200,000 per hour to operate because the Air Force One is a flying mite. It's specifically designed for the president to withstand even a nuclear attack. But the president first needs to travel by car or helicopter, and to ensure the president's safety, around 100 more people travel with him, which adds up the cost. The life of a president is expensive. Trump's first 100 days in office cost around $30 million. But other presidents were a bit more frugal. Obama's entire presidency cost the taxpayers a little over $105 million. Presidents are required to put their assets in a blind trust in order to avoid the conflict of interest. So when they get out of office, nothing is stopping them from making more money. After 8 years or even 4 years of presidency, it gets really tough to live on $200,000 pension, and that's where it gets interesting. Former President Bill Clinton left the White House with $16 million in debt, mostly in legal fees. If you know anything about Bill Clinton, you know the controversial story at the end of his second term that ended up in his impeachment. But that's not what we're focusing on in this video. What matters is what he did when he left the office. Clinton is perhaps one of the presidents who took full advantage of his post-presidency. Despite what your opinion might be of him, he has leveraged his political fame like no president before. He began writing books, giving speeches. That might not seem like a big deal, but on his first speech at Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter & Co. in New York, he earned $125,000. Not bad, right? Well, he didn't stop there. He leveraged his fame and kept giving speeches for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And over the next 15 years, he made $106 million just from speeches. And in order not to leave his audience empty-handed, he wrote a book on his life, My Life, that he published in 2004, and by 2015, Clinton earned $38 million as an author. That's a lot of money. If you think that was enough for him, you are mistaken. After 8 years of presidency, you built a lot of great connections and gained a lot of great experience. So he began offering to consult private companies. He made $15 million advising billionaire Ron Burkle's investment firm, Ukaipa, and another $24 million consulting for-profit education companies, Lorette Education and GMC Education. You probably heard about Clinton Foundation. It's doing great work. However, it's accepting a ton of money from foreign governments. In November 2016, Reuters reported that the Clinton Foundation has confirmed it accepted a $1 million gift from Qatar while Hillary Clinton was US Secretary of the State. Are these two things linked? Well, you have to make up your mind. The foundation also received tens of millions of dollars from governments of Saudi Arabia and UAE. It seems like Clinton has an excellent post-presidency life. But he is not alone. Most recent former President Barack Obama is catching up as well. Less than a year since leaving the Oval Office, Obama gave a few speeches to major Wall Street firms. Guess how much he was paid? Yup, you guessed it right. $1.2 million. Why so much? Well, you have to ask the guys on Wall Street. Barack Obama is the icon of the Democratic Party. He is famous, he has the most followers on Twitter and tens of millions of more on other social media. So he leveraged that fame. He was also paid an additional $800,000 for 2 speeches to Northern Trust Corp and Carlyle Group. In 2017, he was invited to give a speech in Milan, Italy. The speech was roughly around 100 minutes, and he was generously compensated for it. $3 million for that single speech. That's like $30,000 per minute. But Obama didn't stop there. He's still relevant and famous. He needs to make the most out of it. His most significant source of income by far came from his books, exceeding even Bill Clinton. From 2005 to 2016, Obama earned $15.6 million in advances and royalties from his books, The Audacity of Hope and Of Thee I Sing, A Letter to My Daughters, and royalties for Dreams from My Father, Forbes reported citing tax returns and financial documents. But that's not all. Last year, he and Michelle signed book deals worth at least $60 million. Besides book deals, Obama signed a production deal with Netflix, which is estimated around $50 million. The former First Lady also isn't falling behind. She's charging over $200,000 per speaking appearance. According to American University, the Obamas are estimated to earn around $250 million in their post-presidency life from all the deals they have signed. That's as much as Clintons have earned so far. Currently, Obama's net worth is around $40 million. However, the current US president took it too far. He didn't wait till he leaves before he starts leveraging his presidency. He simply turned his presidency into a money-making machine. In 2017 alone, Trump profited $500 million through his hotels and golf clubs. It might not seem like a big deal. Just because he is a president doesn't mean his businesses shouldn't be making money. But here's the catch. Presidents are required to put their businesses in blind trust before taking office. But Trump didn't really do that. Yes, he stepped down, but that wasn't enough. For instance, when the president stays somewhere, it's covered by the taxpayers. If he wants to play golf with another world leader, it's covered by the taxpayers. So Trump being Trump, he almost every time he had to stay somewhere when he travels or play golf, he chose Trump properties, thus making himself indirectly slightly wealthier. In the first 2 years, Trump visited Trump properties around 160 times. And guess what Trump organization did? They raised the prices. But that's not all. Foreign governments began to spend millions on Trump properties. The government of Qatar alone paid $6.5 million to purchase a flat in Trump World Tower. Or take a look at this. The Chinese government is extending a $500 million loan to a state-owned construction company to build an Indonesian theme park that will feature a Trump-branded golf course and hotels. We will have to wait and see how Trump will truly profit from his presidency. And if he wins another term, he is definitely going to make a lot more. What's probably more interesting is how Trump is going to profit from his post-presidency. The Trump brand will definitely be much stronger. Still, we'll have to wait and see once he's out of the White House. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the bell besides it, so that the next video will appear right on your homepage. Thanks for watching, and until next time.